All right, let's dive right in. In this explainer, we're going to tackle a huge question in safety. Why do good people make unsafe choices? But more importantly, we're going to flip that question on its head and show you how those very same human instincts can actually be your number one safety asset. So let's get to it.
So if you're an HSE officer, a supervisor, you know this scene. This isn't some textbook hypothetical, right? This is your Tuesday afternoon, maybe your Wednesday morning. And what you do next, that very first gut reaction, well, it's everything. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. You know, the typical first reaction, our gut reaction, is to find fault. We want to know who messed up. It's just human nature. But the problem is, this instinct leads us down a well-worn path that safety science calls the person model. And folks, it's a total dead end. So, what's the person model? Well, it basically says the problem is all in the person's head. You know, they were careless, they forgot, they weren't paying attention. It blames the individual's mistake as the root cause. And look, it's simple, it feels right, but it's dangerously, dangerously incomplete. And so what happens? We've all back on the usual stuff. Blaming, shaming. We pull that one person aside for retraining, we slap another poster on the wall. These are those classic find and fix reactions. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Doing that is like swatting at mosquitoes. Yeah, you might get one, but you haven't done a single thing about the swamp they're breeding in. You're just treating the symptom, not the actual disease.
So, if we really want to drain that swamp, we have to look past the person who's right there at the sharp end of the incident. We've got to start thinking bigger. We need to adopt what's called a systems thinking approach.
And here's the big idea, the crucial point. Accidents, they're almost never caused by just one single mistake. It's just not how it works. Instead, they're the result of a bunch of complex things interacting within the systems we ourselves built. And this is the world of the absolute legend in safety science, James Reason.
Seriously, just let that sink in for a second. Errors are not causes, they are consequences. They're symptoms. They're like a fever telling you something deeper is wrong with the system. So when you see an error, that's not the start of the problem, it's the final visible outcome of a bunch of hidden weaknesses that were already there. And there's no better way to picture this than with Reason's famous Swiss cheese model. It's brilliant. Just think about it. All your defenses, your procedures, your training, your equipment, each one is like a slice of Swiss cheese. Now, a single hole in one slice. No big deal. But when all the holes in all the different layers just happen to line up perfectly, that's when a hazard zips right through and boom, you've got an accident. Now, the model breaks these holes down into two main types. Over here, you've got active failures. These are the obvious things, the unsafe acts you see at the sharp end. An operator slips, makes a mistake. But the real danger, the stuff we need to worry about, is over here, the latent conditions. These are the sneaky, hidden problems at the blunt end. Things like poor equipment design, training that wasn't quite good enough, or pressure from management to cut corners. And the scary part? They can just sit there dormant for years, just waiting for the right moment to cause a disaster.
Okay, so up to this point, we've really been talking about the human as a source of error, as a hazard. But now, this is where the whole story takes a really fascinating turn. We're going to flip the coin and look at the other side of the human contribution. And it all comes down to this one critical question. What if the human isn't the problem at all? What if the human is actually the solution? It sounds like a paradox, right? But think about it. The very same thing that can lead to an error, our ability to be flexible, to adapt, to improvise on the fly. That's what we call human variability. And yeah, sometimes it goes wrong. But guess what? 99.9% of the time, that exact same variability is what keeps our less than perfect systems from falling apart. It's the secret sauce that makes things go right, day in and day out. So James Reason actually studied these incredible heroic recoveries to figure out what made them work. And it's not magic. He found there's a recipe. It's a mix of deep technical professionalism, a dash of inspired improvisation when the procedures just don't cover it, a little bit of luck paired with a whole lot of skill, and all of it built on a solid foundation of great training and leadership. And if you want to see all those ingredients come together in one of the most powerful examples in modern history, look no further than the miracle on the Hudson. I mean, think about it. A flock of geese takes out both engines. The technology, the system, it completely failed. There was literally no procedure in the manual for what to do when you're a glider over New York City. But you know what didn't fail? The human element. The crew's skill, their sheer professionalism, their calm under unimaginable pressure that saved every single one of the 155 people on that plane. That is the human as hero.
Okay, so this is amazing, but how do we make this practical? How do we actually shift our thinking from just preventing failure to actively creating success? Well, that brings us to the playbook. It's about making the shift from what we call safety I to safety I. And the difference between them is night and day. Safety I, that's the old way. It's reactive. It defines safety as just the absence of accidents. It sees people as a liability, something you have to control. And it only ever focuses on why things go wrong. But safety 2, that's proactive. It says safety is the ability to succeed even when things aren't perfect. It sees people as a resource for resilience, and this is the key, it focuses on understanding why things so often go right. This is a great way to visualize it. Look, safety I is obsessed with this tiny little red slice of failure. All our energy goes there. But safety 2? It takes a magnifying glass to this massive green area of success, all the times work gets done safely every single day. Because it understands that the root of both success and failure is often the exact same thing, human adaptability.
All right, so let's bring this right down to the ground. What does this actually mean for you on Monday morning when you walk out onto the floor? How do you put this resilient stuff into practice?
Okay, here's your new focus. 4 key things. Number 1, when you see an error, your first question isn't who did this, it's why did this make sense? See it as a symptom of the system. Number 2, start seeing your team's ability to adapt and improvise as your greatest safety resource. Don't stamp it out, nurture it. Number 3, actively investigate why things go right. Ask your team, hey, that was a tricky job. How'd you manage to get it done safely? And finally, number 4, and this is huge, build a just culture. Create an environment where people feel safe to speak up about problems without any fear of being blamed.
And really, this quote from James Reason just says it all perfectly. We cannot change the human condition, but we can change the conditions under which humans work. Our job isn't to create perfect, flawless people. That's a fool's errand. Our job is to create better, more forgiving, more resilient systems that actually support the real people doing the real work. So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Think about it. We spend millions of dollars and thousands of hours investigating the one time something goes wrong. But what about the 9,999 times it went right? What incredible, invaluable lessons are just sitting there, waiting for you to discover in all that success?
If you want to keep digging into this stuff and learn how to tap into those successes to build stronger, more resilient systems, make sure you subscribe to HSE Study. We've got way more practical safety strategies coming your way. Thanks for tuning in.